Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, June 5th. So last evening we had the moon in Sag go void, of course, and we are moving into Capricorn energy here today. We do have one aspect that the moon in Sag, while void, of course, will be making before locking into that Capricorn energy, which, reminder, does kind of feel like we hit a brick wall. It does kind of feel like we're being snatched out of the air, flying high from that full moon in Sag, and we have to get grounded. We have to stay present in the moment, and we are very aware of our physical body, of our physical circumstances. Now, there are 12 different aspects here today. 9 of them involve the moon, and the ones that do not involve the moon, 2 of them involve Venus, and of course, Venus is moving into Leo energy here today. I do recommend that you go ahead, you listen to that astro forecast so that you understand what Venus in Leo is going to be all about, taking us into October. I would definitely also recommend that you download your zodiac forecast for the month of June so that you understand where these particular energies are manifesting in your life and the impact that it will have on your life as we move forward. So, while the moon, still in Sag energy, but void of course, will be interacting with Venus. Now Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, money, still in the critical crisis degrees of Cancer energy. So we're getting a little bit of a push here. Reminder, Cancer energy ruled over by the moon. Moon rules over Monday. Mondays are low and slow for a reason because we are emotional. We have to ground ourselves. We have to kind of get I'm going to say a little bit more present with what it is that we need to build in our lives in order to feel safe and secure. Venus's time in Cancer, if you need to go back, listen to that energy forecast, go ahead and do so. But Venus in Cancer should have illuminated to us where it is that we have to kind of boss up, start doing for ourselves what it is that we've been hoping other people would do for us. It is really kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty of the basic needs that we have, especially in our relationships, especially in our money matters. And the moon and Sag kind of interacting with Venus in this way is kind of offering us a choice point, a decision point. Now, are we going to be all up in making decisions here today? Probably not, but we are going to explore the different options that we have, the different choices that we have, what it is that we could be doing in order to kind of stabilize our emotional realm and really make some improvements in both of our relationship and money matter area. Just know that at a 29 degree, which Venus is currently sitting at, there's a lot of intensity there. Therefore, we might be having a lot of heart chakra activations. If you need to listen to the ascension symptom forecast for this week, please go do so that you understand where the energy is manifesting in your physical body due to the discomfort, the ailments that are kind of popping up here. So go ahead, do a deep dive in that. This is definitely going to activate our heart chakra, show it is what it is that we are moving away from, what it is that we have a desire to move closer to. The moon locks into Capricorn energy at 3:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:41 a.m. We have the moon making an aspect with Pluto. So Pluto, heads up, is about to retrograde back into Capricorn energy, but still very much at the 0 degree in Aquarius at this particular point in time. The moon, now in Capricorn energy, is very focused on our goals, very focused on coming up with plans, with strategies in order to bring those goals into fruition. We don't really have a whole lot of time for emotions. We would prefer to keep our physical selves busy, distracted, so that we don't have to dabble in our emotions. And what makes us feel the best is being productive, seeing physical progress. Now, we are going to have to kind of think very long term here on what it is that we want to be building, what it is we want to be working towards. And Pluto, who is retrograde, has us on a internalized journey of recognizing where it is that we got to boss up, where we got to take the power back, where we have to take the control back, where we have to really settle in to understanding that we are the creators of our reality, of our universe, and to override some of the negative narratives, the restricting, blocking beliefs. All of this energy is going to reveal to us where it is that we have to kind of unearth some of the darkest parts of ourselves, because the goals, the dreams, the ambitions that we're currently trying to bring to life is being blocked by a lot of fears, doubts, and insecurities. And so we are going to have to kind of wrap our head space and our heart space around the fact that we got to get out of our own way, flip the script. And, you know, that Plutonian energy is very empowering, but it does take us on a little bit of a dark journey inside in order for us to see where the problems are at so that we can override that, boss up to new levels of empowerment, control, and authority in our lives and get to creating a reality that is better suited to our higher selves. The moon in Capricorn is going to make a positive interaction with Mars. Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger. In Leo energy, the heart and soul of the zodiac, we're getting real, we're getting raw, we're getting vulnerable with what it is that makes us happy, what it is that we're excited about, what it is that we have new passions and desires to pursue. And because the moon in Capricorn is really trying to formulate a plan, a strategy in order to move forward and bring some of these elements to life, we are kind of having a very, I'm going to say, grounded approach to the new inspirations, motivations, and determination that we have to tap into in order to get this party started. The moon is then going to trine the north node, the true node, if you will, in this Taurus energy. Get some earth on earth energy here. And what this is going to do is actually show us the physical movement needed in our lives, in our circumstances, in our plans in order to move forward, to get on that right path. The true node is a destiny point. It's showing us where it is that we have to kind of align in order to move forward in obtaining new happiness, new goals, new ambitions, new success, new rewards that, of course, are in alignment with a new truth, a new mission, a new purpose. 9:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Venus will be moving into Leo energy. This is going to be a very welcome shift. Again, reminder, get your Gemini Season E guide out if you are kind of following along. Really kind of encapsulate what it is that you're thinking, what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're experiencing at this particular point in time, because this is what we're going to be revisiting here when Venus goes retrograde in July. The moon in Capricorn going to trine Jupiter. Jupiter, of course, planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, blessings in this Taurus energy, another earth on earth energy here. So why this is a beautiful aspect for us is because Jupiter is kind of like the hype girl, brings a lot of optimism, brings a lot of confidence into play. We're really kind of pushing the boundaries of what we believe is possible. Lucky for us, we're not going to float away with that. We're not going to bite off more than we can chew. The moon in Capricorn energy prevents us from doing that because you can't get more grounded and realistic than Capricorn energy. So what we're kind of gifted here is a opportunity to see where it is that we do want to make some changes, where we want to grow, where new goals, new ambitions are really kind of pushing us to break away from the old form, the old circumstance, really set our sights on a new adventure. And because this is a grounding energy, we are formulating a very specific and strategic plan on what needs to be dealt with first here in our physical realms. 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Venus fresh in this Leo energy, which is going to take a couple of days to acclimate to. Opposing, sitting across from Mr. Pluto, who of course is retrograde in this Aquarian energy. Aquarius energy, Leo energy, they sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. This is the axis of really tapping into our unique individual skills and talents. Leo energy, the heart and soul of the zodiac, what is right for us, what makes us happy, where our creative energy is, what it is that we're passionate about, what it is that we want to pursue, versus the Aquarian energy that kind of shows us where it is that we have to bring those unique individual gifts to the world. That Aquarian energy is the collective. Problem is that we tend to dim our light in the Leo energy in order to try and fit in and make other people happy in the Aquarian energy. And Pluto's whole retrograde in this Aquarian energy is supposed to illuminate to us where boundaries are needed so that we stop kind of sacrificing what it is that makes us happy, what it is that we feel very passionate and excited to pursue in order to do what we feel obligated to do by other people. Venus opposing Pluto. Again, if you listen to the ascension forecast for this week, you would know that this is a continuation of the empowerment, the feminine divine energy empowerment story that we've been in for a very, very long while now. We have Venus and Pluto kick off 2023, carrying us into the year of 7, which is about finding balance, making peace, creating harmony within ourselves, within our relationships, within our physical realm. And therefore, Venus opposing Pluto is going to kind of reveal, peel back some layers, unearth a lot of what it is that we have to do within ourselves as far as self-esteem, self-confidence goes, as far as making some changes in our relationships go, because of course we need to be in alignment with our heart space, and sometimes that means letting people go. Sometimes that means declaring what it is that we're thinking and feeling in order to get back on the same page. And this is going to affect our money matters, our resources as well, really bringing into perspective our long-term goals as far as what it is that we need to do to feel safe and secure and taken care of. The moon is going to go ahead, make an interaction with Uranus, the Great Awakener. This is likely going to jolt us. We're going to feel a little bit of anxiety, maybe restlessness, anticipation, eagerness, if you will, depending on how you allow it to manifest. The Uranian energy likes to bring new insights into our perspective, likes to download us with aha moments, epiphanies, game-changing, perspective-changing ideas, aha moments, revealing to us different perceptions, if you will, from a new level of consciousness. Either way, this is a shake-up, this is a wake-up, and we are kind of being infused with where it is that we can't stick to the same old traditional ways of going about doing things. Sometimes we need to take a risk, put ourselves out there, and instead of sitting around thinking about it, sometimes we just need to kind of act on spontaneous change in order to make things happen. Now, whether or not we're actually going to do that, likely not. I don't see the moon in Capricorn allowing us to take any kind of risk, but we're going to think about it, and we're going to be inspired. We're going to be motivated to really open up our mind to see where it is that we have to break away from the old in order to adopt the new. The moon will then make a beautiful aspect with Mercury. You may remember we had Mercury and Uranus conjunct here yesterday. This should have ignited or opened the door, if you will, to some pretty profound downloads, some ideas, some inspiration, a new vision, a new dream, if you will. If it hasn't happened for you, it doesn't mean that it's not going to. Again, we talked in the Ascension forecast this week about how, when aspects pop off, it's not going to deliver in that moment. It basically unlocks the safe in order to pop the door open. We haven't quite opened that safe door yet, but there are a lot of things in there that get triggered and will eventually kind of unfold and spill out over the next coming of weeks. And of course, our higher and lower intellect is concerned when we talk about Uranian and Mercurial energy. So the profound insight, the aha moment, the changes that we just got illuminated to that we're likely not going to act on, but we're going to kind of percolate on. Well, now with this interaction with Mercury, this is our lower level intellect. This is our logical, practical mind space. So now we're really getting the gears grinding, if you will, in our mental plane. The moon, being in Capricorn energy, is our emotions, our heart space. Mercury is our head space. I'm not going to say that they're in alignment, but we're definitely having a positive, on the same page conversation between our heart and our head. We have to just kind of iron out the details, if you will, but we're not in a complete conflict or opposition, which is a good thing. We're bridging the gap. Really closing in on this alignment, on this agreement, and we are definitely kind of formulating a plan on what it is that we need to pursue emotionally and logically and practically, how it is that we're going to kind of chase those particular dreams. The moon in Capricorn is going to sextile, beautiful energy, with Saturn, its ruler, who happens to be in Pisces energy, which is really not much fun for anyone, if we're being honest. Saturn, who rules over karma, who rules over structures and foundations, roles and responsibility, having a hard time here in this Piscean energy because it's hard to build anything. It's hard to stay still, if you will, when the constant emotional and spiritual waves keep crashing upon us. Of course, in the great grand scheme of things, Saturn being in this Piscean energy is trying to wrap up 30-year cycle in order to prepare us to create new Earth. And of course, we have to deconstruct, dismantle some of the old belief systems, the old ways of going about things, the old ways of addressing our emotions, if you will. And the nearsighted, I guess, topic and theme that we're in right now, just because we're in the very early stages of Saturn being in this Pisces energy, is kind of realizing where there's not a logical, practical approach of sorting through our emotions. Sometimes you just have to feel it. You can't make sense of it. You can't compartmentalize it. Regardless, this is a good interaction. So we have the moon in Capricorn really kind of grounding us out, really kind of showing us the path that we need to walk in order to bring our goals, our dreams, our ambitions to life. Saturn, of course, likes to pump the brakes. There's really not a need to here because we're not going anywhere as fast with the moon in Capricorn. But Saturn just wants us to really take a good, slow, steady approach to what it is that we're building, starting with, are we in alignment emotionally speaking with our goals, with our dreams? Are we inspired? Are we excited? Are we passionate enough about it? Do we truly desire the end goal enough in order to infuse the vision with the proper emotion, which of course is the first two stages of manifesting? We're going to have to sort through that. And because this Piscean energy is about belief, are we being too logical and practical with our dreams, with our goals, with our ambitions? Or do we need to open the door to magic? Do we need to open the door to just trust and have hope and faith that, miracles can happen? Or are we going to stay so tunnel vision on the parameters of logic and practicality and not let magic in, that we're literally only kind of in the parameters of being able to create a reality based off of our current circumstances? That is a back and forth that we're all kind of going through right now, between finding that beautiful boundary between logic, practicality, and of course, faith, hope, wishes. That's what this full moon in Sag was all about. So we're still going to kind of dabble in this energy throughout the course of this week until we land at the last quarter moon in Aquarius energy that will, of course, reveal the bigger, greater, grander perspective and show us where it is that we have to sort some things out and where that middle ground will actually be for us in moving forward. The moon in Capricorn is going to interact with Mars again, but this time it's not as fun as the earlier aspect where we were growing in inspiration and motivation, and we were recognizing where it is that we had to kind of boss up and be determined to push through the obstacles, the challenges in order to bring our long-term goals to life. This time, we're seeing two paths, two directions, two choices. We're kind of at a decision point on how we're going to proceed. And of course, we have ants in our pants because of Mars being in Leo energy, just hot to trot, ready to take action, ready to get the party started. We're pumping the brakes over here with the moon being in Capricorn energy. So this is leading to some frustration. But in this frustration, and again, we have to remind ourselves to use the not so nice thoughts and feelings as an inner guide, an internal compass, if you will, to show us where it is that the change, the transformation is needed the most. We are going to be sorting some things out, really getting to the heart of the matter, Leo energy, seeing what it is that we are feeling called to pursue. Sometimes this isn't logical, practical roles and responsibilities. Sometimes this is an intuitive dream and vision that we just have to follow, we just have to pursue. So again, we're kind of testing the boundaries between, are we going to rely on our logical, practical intellect to show us where it is that we need to go, or are we going to lean into the heart space and let our soul do its thing and lead us on the path that we need to be walking? The last thing that we got going on here today is the sun in Gemini energy, shining a bright light on the division, on the choices, on the extreme points of view, on the options that we have to choose from, where it is that we're on the fence in doing so. Shining a bright light on needing new information, needing more details in order to be fully educated and informed before we make some of the decisions that we're being pushed to make here in the month of June. Go ahead, listen to the energy forecast for that if you need a reminder on what June's all about. Anyways, the sun in Gemini is making an aspect with Pluto, who is retrograde in the Aquarian energy. And this is some air on air action, which means that we're all up in the mental plane about it. We're not necessarily in a state of feeling, in a state of emotion. We're not necessarily in a time of action. We're in a time of thought, of processing, of kind of gathering the information and details that we need, of exploring different type of alternatives, different paths, different choices. Now, Pluto energy reveals stuff to us. We have some unearthing to do inside of us. We have hidden details emerging from our external world. And overall, this is a very intense type of energy, showing us where it is that we're either blocked, challenged, restricted from moving forward, from making a decision, from processing some thoughts and strategies fully, or where it is that we're just not in a position in our physical circumstances to exercise the decision and the choice point that we're currently leaning towards. Regardless, there is a passion that needs to be realized. And with now Venus and Mars in the Leo energy, the heart and soul of the zodiac, passion needs to be what leads us in this next creation chapter. So we are going to be illuminated, if you will, on different tidbits of knowledge, information, and details that eventually will make sense to us, will kind of add up to reveal the greater, grander whole. But right now we're just kind of getting random puzzle pieces that don't necessarily fit together. Either way, this week we are going to be putting those pieces together, and even if they're not snapping together, they are in the place within the puzzle, if you will, to reveal a greater, grander perspective on where it is that we want to go from here.